Hi, I'm Chris Maragakis of Simply Be Retreats and Therapies. I'm a life coach, therapist and podcaster. Welcome to Mindful Mutterings. Please like, share and subscribe. And as always, thanks for listening. Hi, thanks for joining me this week. I'm going to be talking about confidence, and I'm going to give you 10 steps to becoming more self-confident, because it's so important. And let's just start off by explaining what confidence is. So confidence is essentially having trust in your own ability, knowing what you're capable of, or at the very least knowing that whatever life throws at you, you will come out the other end of it. You do know that you can find a way through and you can manage. Even if you need support for that, you can get yourself through it. And without confidence, we can struggle to problem solve and make decisions. We're unlikely to set boundaries or have lasting equal relationships. And it can also cause us to feel overwhelmed and anxious and desperate for approval from other people. Whereas when we have confidence, we are empowered to move forward in life, comfortable with our ability to deal with whatever life throws at us. Like I said, it might not always go the way we want it to, or we might, everyone has a down day, but we do know that kind of we will get through it. We will find a way to make some sense of what's going on. And when we're secure in ourselves and how we present to the world, everything changes. More opportunities open up for you. You tend to find that life goes a bit easier for you, and you're not so daunted by everything, and you don't get so overwhelmed. But I have to say, confidence is not to be confused with arrogance. Arrogance is when someone is exaggerating what they think their abilities are, or they might think that they're better than anybody else. And generally speaking, this is so sad, because what it is actually often an indicator of is low self-esteem, or someone who has imposter syndrome. And they think if they present this I'm better than everybody else attitude to the world, then actually it's kind of a fake it till you make it thing, and it will rub off. But what it actually does is alienates a lot of people. And the problem when we have low self-confidence and we're not confident in our abilities to deal with life is that impacts on everything. It can make us socially awkward. We don't succeed as well in the workplace, which means there's financial implications. We don't problem solve and decision make as well as we could, and that implicates on our financial outcomes and our well-being and our mental health. And so everybody can become confident. We are all amazing people. We really, really are. Don't ever let anybody tell you any differently. It's just that over the years, maybe we've struggled with something, or maybe we've not had someone proactive and helpful in our life, and we've just lost our sparkle a little bit. But everybody can become confident and can learn how to build their own self-worth and change their mindset so that they become more positive and confident in their abilities. So 10 steps to growing your self-confidence. So we need to do the following. First one, as always, become mindful. By paying attention to our thoughts and our feelings and our behaviours, we can begin to identify where our lack of confidence stems from, what it's impacting on, and then that gives us the understanding so that we can start to see what we need to change, or what needs to be worked on or developed, or what we need support with. We cannot move forward if we're not aware of where our weaknesses and our strengths lie. So, number one, become mindful. Number two, stop the negative thoughts and self-talk. Constantly putting yourself down is exhausting and self-destructive, and it serves no purpose. You're only repeating what somebody else has conditioned you to believe. If you question it, it's not actually you. And when we talk about ourselves negatively, you're telling other people how to see you. And not only that, you're giving them permission to talk about you in a negative way as well. And when they're explaining something about who you are or whatever, they'll be the characteristics that they put forward first. So when you notice a negative thought arising, question it. Where is this coming from? And because quite often it will be a generalization, I'm no good at that. Well, that's no true. You're never no good at everything, anything. It might be that sometimes you struggle with something, and there'll be a reason why you struggle with it in that situation. Maybe you struggle with following instructions, but then maybe that's not you at all. Maybe you struggle following instructions from a particular person because they don't explain things clearly, or because they set you up to fail because they have their own issues and needs as well. So it's always about challenging those thoughts, questioning them, and then challenging them. Number 3, surround yourself with positive people and situations. Choose people who build you up and make you feel great. And if you can't lose the people that don't do that for you, or even the situations that don't do that for you, then minimize your contact with them, or find different ways to manage them so that they don't impact on your well-being and bring you down. There are, once you start to become authentic and you are truly who you are, and you worry less about what other people think of you, the right people come into your life because you're creating space for them to come in. So have faith, it will work out. Number 4, stop judging yourself. Please, please, please stop judging yourself by other people's standards. You are amazing. And wanting to be like someone else or have what they want will only lead to misery. And apart from that, you're doing yourself a great disservice, because we are all part of a collective, but we are all individuals with our own skills and knowledge and just wonder that we bring to the world. So please don't judge yourself by someone else. And not only that, you have absolutely no way of knowing what they've had to go through to have what it is that you're coveting at the moment. They might have had to go through hell and back. So my advice is learn to accept who you are and be grateful for who you are and what you have. And if there's things that you would like to change, then change them. If you can't do it on your own, reach out to a friend, reach out to a coach. Coaching is becoming more and more commonplace now because it really works. It helps you to change your life. And the more authentic you are, like I said, the more your confidence will grow, because you need other people's approval less, and because you're being true to yourself, and that builds your own confidence, and you're more comfortable around these people that are now spending time in your life, and that boosts your confidence because you've got a strong network of support, because you're no longer socially anxious, because that improves your relationships in the workplace, and you can just see how it impacts on your life as you go forward. Number 5, change your body language. Lots of people look down at the ground. Don't look up, look at people's eyes. I'm not saying stare at them like some weirdo, but just maintain eye contact, even if it's only for a second. It tells people so much about you. And stand up tall, don't slouch, don't try and hide away in the corner. Like I've said before, you're amazing. You have something to bring to the world, so show up in the world and give it. Stand tall, and you don't have to be front and centre, but there is part of us that always wants to be seen, heard and recognised. And take small steps every day to push out of that fear and step from your comfort zone and start to be seen in the world. Your confidence will grow exponentially when you start to do that. Which brings me to number 6, which is stepping out of your comfort zone. Try not to follow the routine of your everyday life. The brain likes us to stay in this neat little easy to control routine because it knows what to do and how to keep us safe, but we don't grow as people, and there's no room for development if we do that. So start small. I'm not asking you to suddenly start skydiving or doing anything radical. Small little changes will help you to gain your confidence, and so that you can start to do more and more each time. So maybe when you go shopping this week, buy different food, try it. What's the worst thing that can happen? Maybe you don't like it, but at least you've learned something. Or maybe you walk a different way to work and pay attention to what you're seeing. Or buy a new cup to drink out of, or say yes instead of automatically saying no. And each time you do something different, your resilience and confidence grows. Even if you don't like the outcome, even like if it didn't work out the way you thought it was going to be, you've survived, which tells your brain that you've got resilience, and you gain more confidence from that. And also you've learned something new about yourself. So win-win situation. Number 7, use affirmations. I am are 2 of the most powerful words in the universe. So use them to your benefit. You can Google affirmations, or you can buy books or little affirmation cards from just about anywhere now. I post an affirmation every Monday for you to use, so please feel free. You can find that on social media, and yeah, use that to guide your week. Or you can choose your own, as long as you make it present tense and it's positive and you make it believable, then it will work for you. So essentially, an affirmation is a statement, a declaration about something that you want to encourage into your life or that you want to believe about yourself. So things like, I am growing more confident every day, or I am a good person, or maybe I'm kind and true to myself. All of these will help the brain to rewire the neural pathways. And neural pathways are just learned responses and behaviours that the brain has adapted. And the more they're repeated, the stronger they get. And the way we change mindset is to overwrite those neural pathways or create new neural pathways with new expressions. And we have to reinforce them so that they become stronger than the previous ones. And repetition is the best way to do it, which is why whenever you're changing mindset, small, consistent steps work much bigger than dramatic one-off events. So yeah, use affirmations to help you rewire your brain. 8, use goal setting. It's a much underused tool, goal setting, because once you write down how your life would look, and don't put any barriers on this, not if I had the money, if I had the time, if I didn't have the kids, if I didn't blah blah blah. Sit down and work out how you would love your life to look if there were no barriers. And then once you've done that, okay, some of it right now seem absolutely unbelievable, but you have no way of knowing where your life is going. And once you've set the intention and once you've written it down, be open to coincidence and possibility. Once you've got it written out in front of you, you can start to break it down and make it into small tasks that you can then do something regularly towards achieving. And as you're doing that, you might come into contact with someone who offers you an opportunity to do something, and that opportunity then leads to something else. And all of a sudden, you're living the life that you wrote down when you were doing your goal setting. So write it down so you know what you're doing. Set your intentions so you have a clear idea of where you want to get to. But don't align your self-worth with achieving those goals. We've got no way of controlling the future. You're amazing whether you control those goals or not, so it's good to be flexible. But then once you have got them in mind, be open to possibility and put the work in. Make sure you're prepared so that when opportunity comes, you're ready and you can grasp it and you can move forward. And also, if you're using meditation or you're having a little daydream one day, start seeing the life that you want to live, and really create it. Work towards using colour and smell and just see yourself how you would live that life if that was how you are. Number 9, journal your journey. It's so easy to forget how far we've come and what we've achieved. So buy a really nice notebook. Doesn't have to be expensive. You can go to, well, my favourite place is the Works. When they do the sale, you can get these lovely notebooks, like little A5 notebooks with fantastic affirming statements on the front for a couple of quid. I've got loads of them. And then write down your goals. In the front, write down all your goals and review them regularly. And when you've achieved your goal, write done and thank you next to it, because it's really important that you have gratitude and you acknowledge the progress that you're making. And at the back of the book, write down all your successes and skills. And it may be a small list to start off with, and that's absolutely okay. But the more confident you become, the more you'll realise that you have so many skills and you've had so many successes and that you are achieving so much regularly, that will also help to build your confidence. And on those days when life isn't going so great, it's really good to look back and think, oh yeah, actually, check me out. Look at what I've managed to achieve. Actually, I'm doing okay. And then number 10, accept that things don't always go right for you. And that is not a failure, but it's an opportunity to learn and to grow. We have the experiences we need so that we can grow and develop the skills that we will need in later life. And how do we know that we need to have the experience? It's because it's happening right now. We cannot argue with reality. So accept what's happening, accept the lesson with gratitude, look to see what you can learn from it, adapt, and then move on. Okay, so they're my 10 top tips. And each of these tips used alone will help you to build your confidence. But if you start to use them all together consistently, you will blossom. So I really hope this has helped for you. I'd love to know how you get on, so please get in touch. If you want to work with me on building your confidence, then please get in touch. There's a website, simplybe.org.uk. Email me on cm@simplybe.org.uk or get in touch via the phone on 07974 618 499. And yeah, take your first step into being a more confident, more amazing you. Thank you very much for listening, and I hope you'll join me next week for the next one. Take care. Bye.